we about to go in. So, using spirituality to pick your partners, why is that important? All right. Throughout societies, when we go into ancient times, people have always used spiritual systems in order to know compatibility, in order to pick their partners, things like that. This has always been. Now, in more modern times, that aspect has been lost. Okay? And there's many reasons why that aspect has been lost. We'll go over a few now so that we can kind of get up to speed on why. Starting from the disconnect from God, right? So when you study the ancient, the closer that you get to those ancient societies, the closer that you find yourself to the source, the closer that you find yourself to God, right? And as technology progressed and civilizations progressed, you started to see people get further and further away from that divine, to the point where now it's just like, where is the divine? To the point that today, if you talk about the divine to people, you look crazy. That's how far that we've come from God as a unit in the Western side of the world. Okay? So, understanding this now, we can start to put it into perspective. You know, there's other things culturally that happen that led to this disconnect on how we pick our partners. Another big one is arranged marriage, right? There were reasons for arranged marriages. Arranged marriages were generally very successful. And there's a reason for it, you know, which we're going to go through. All of these things had a purpose. All of these things had a reason. All of these things have validity. Okay? As y'all coming in, make sure you like the video. We about to drop heavy science, heavy knowledge, all that. Hit the share button, hit the like button. Is about to get heavy in the building. I'm coming on here. I've been doing voodoo all day. I've been doing voodoo and Ifa all day. Literally, that's the work of a Brujo. I have a lot of clients that I take care of, that I handle things. So literally from the time that I woke up to just in the last 30, 40 minutes, I've been doing the work. You know what I'm saying? From starting the day with readings to carrying on ritual for people, things like that. Then the stuff I got to do for my own spirits that are just my personal ones. It's a lot that goes into this type of work. But I still find the time to come on here, kick it with y'all every once in a while on a TikTok live to really put this info. Peace to you as well, King. So yeah, you know, I still find the time. So why the importance of using spirituality to pick your partners? You know, today, a lot of people complain about the dating pool is trash. You know, there's not really nobody for them. They keep running into people that are not their match, this and that, whatever. And honestly, there's somebody for you, for everybody, okay? Anything that you're with, there's somebody with it. The key is who is attracting that, who's not attracting it, who can see it when it comes to them, who cannot see it when it comes to them. These are all factors that are determining the choices in partners. I especially want the men to pay attention because it's very important for the men to notice information. In my opinion, even more so than the women, because men are the ones that are actively hunting to find a partner, right? For the most part, that's what's happening. Men are making a move, and based on that, they're going to make decisions. The woman's going to have discernment on whether she should go with it or not. But ultimately, those men are out there on the prowl, and if they don't know how to build a foundation because they can't pick the right partner to build with, then everything else is moot. Everything else doesn't matter, because you are about to build on a shaky foundation that's probably going to fall apart, because as a man, you don't know how to put the pieces to the puzzle together. As a man, you don't know how to put the bricks together to build the house. That's it. You get what I'm saying? So this is very important to men to know this as well. But it's also important for women to know it, because you don't want to be with a man that gonna have adverse effects on you either. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, there are things that should be done before you make the decision to date somebody, to sleep with somebody, to commit to somebody. There are factors that go into this, okay? You can't just rely on time, because this is what a lot of people think. A lot of people think that just because you spend enough time with an individual, that constitutes bringing that together into a relationship. A lot of people think just because you knew somebody for X amount of months, that's enough to constitute, well, we can move forward. This is a very dangerous way of going about it. Okay? Because time can also be wasted. Ashe. All right? Time can also be wasted. So when you're giving time away in a manner that's not picked by the divine, that time can be wasted. It likely will be wasted. Yeah, y'all feel what I'm saying? Like the video, because we about to go all the way in. Time only matters when the union was compatible from the start. If it wasn't compatible for the start, honestly, you wasted your time trying to put a square into a circle. That's that. All right? If the pairing was compatible, now that time actually means something and is going to form something. All right? So now, understanding this, let's go into some of the ways ancient societies did. When an ancient society did an arranged marriage, you think they just picked two random people together because of tribes and land and said, okay, now you guys are going to marry, and in time you'll love each other? No. There are spiritual factors that determine if these two should be, if there's going to be a spark that occurs. And these are things that go together. Miss Liza, the red flags is not an indicator of if somebody's compatible or not. You know what I'm saying? It's just not. We're going to get into that. So this is how ancient societies did it. Ancient societies did everything from utilizing the spirits that govern each individual to the planets or stars that govern each individual. This is how they knew what's going to work, what's not going to work. And then the other part, of course, is the lineage, right? The family tie, the lineage. These things all came together in picking a partner. All of that has all but been lost today. All of that is, we don't even go by that no more. And so you see the failure in relationships. Me personally, before I make a decision to date somebody, I do 3 forms of divination in that process. See, the divination is very important. If you're not somebody that's into spirituality yourself, where you can do the things, you need to be going to people that know about these things as you're dating and going through the world. Like a lot of my clients, they will come to me when they meet somebody, and they will ask me what is likely to come from this relationship, and I can tell them. So now they know what to expect. You know what I'm saying? So there's different ways to do this. So divination plays a huge role in picking your partner. And like I said, if you're not one that knows how to do this or do that, well, there's people like me around that you can connect to that can help you with that, you know? And then you're not going to be stuck on trying to be doing love work and things like that. There's no need for none of that when you pick right the first time. That's everything else becomes just maintenance. You understand? So with me, I do 3 forms of divination before I even go there with somebody. So the first one is, since I am a devotee of Ifa, I go to Orula, which you know as Orunmila, right? So Orunmila and Ifa is the divine prophet. Orunmila is the one who was there when you picked your destiny. And so Orula knows, you know, all of those things. And so before I even go on a date, I'm going to ask Orula. And I'm going to say, Orula, do you see that I can be successful with this person in a relationship? Something along those lines. Orula, can this woman become a wife for me? You know what I'm saying? Are we compatible? I'm going to ask something along those lines. If Orula says no, we're not getting to the first date. That's that. I don't go against Ifa. I have not seen a person go against Ifa and be right in the end yet. So me personally, I don't go against Orula when I ask Orunmila things like that. I just don't. I've learned through wisdom the times where I have gone against it or not gone to Orula, I paid the price for it. Is even a recent situation where I did not go to Orula about a year ago. And of course, that person turned out to be not good. You know, not good. So these are things that you learn with wisdom, right? So the first step that I do, I check in with Orula. If Orula say yes, I will go on that date. Okay. So when I go on that date, and Orula going to tell me the type of yes. If it's going to be a challenge, Orula will tell me that that's going to be a little challenge. You know what I'm saying? Orula will tell me. If it's to work, but it needs patience or compromise, Orunmila would tell me that. You know what I'm saying? Orunmila would tell me. If it's a no, Orunmila would tell me. Ashe. So, with that being said, now I know, okay, I can take that step. Now it goes deeper. Okay, now I'm talking to the person. I'm getting to know the person. Now, with me, I need to know the astrology information. Now, some people, they won't go that step and know the astrology. They'll just keep it within their respective tradition. But me, because I know about astrology, I like to know. I like to know somebody's birth chart. I like to look at our synastry. I like to look at our composite charts together, what that looks like together. I like to do all of those things. I like to look at the person's individual placements. I like to look into all of that. So I'm going to find out as much of their astrology info as I can. I need birth dates. I need places of birth. If you know your birth time, I need that. Because why? I got to know what the scope of this is going to look like so that I can be the best within this building. I can give it the best chance that it can have. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving it the best possible chance. So I will use the astrology. I will look in. I will say, boom, boom, boom. Okay, this person have a lot of placements in this house, meaning this karma might be with this person. I'll look at our synastry. You know, they got this planet in my 7th house, so that means this, right? I'm looking at all that because I need to know what to expect. I'm about to invest. You feel me? I'm about to invest time. I'm about to invest energy. And I'm a man that believes in take care of women. So I'm going to invest money in a minute, right? All these things I'm thinking of. Now, once I got a clue of that, I can still make a decision and say, whoa, I know Arula said yes, but I don't know if I want to go through all these challenges with this person, right? I can keep having discernment. I can keep having my discernment. But if the birth chart check out decent, I can say, okay, let's keep walking. Now, the other step that I do, which is a continual one, is I open up my runes. So I use the runes to see what things I can what scenarios I may expect with that person, right? How slow I need to take it, where we at with it, what's really going on deeper than what they're telling me, right? Now I'm knowing more. Now I'm knowing scenarios. And based on that, now I can make a better decision on how to handle the person. You know what I'm saying? And these are things that I look at when I'm picking partners. Some people may just rely on one form of divination or two form of divination. Because I have these things at my disposal, I use them. Because why not? And these are just ways that I go about it. But everybody at some level should have an element of this implemented in how they picking their partner. Even if it's just the astrology by itself. You know, even if it's just the astrology by itself. You know, with just the astrology by itself, you can learn a lot. And that's not just, of course, your sun sign. That's going into synastry. That's going into composite charts and things like that, knowing what's what. Because in the end, you're going to save yourself time, a headache. Even if you just know the astrology, if it didn't work, at least they didn't drag you through hell because you just decided to pick the worst connection that you could, right? So this is, you know, to all the things. Miss Laza, it's so hard to find people and fight because the world is fucked up and they're separated from God. That's why. So when people go back to the source, it won't be so hard. But because we're so separated from culture and y'all want to be buying into these bullshit concepts, y'all want to believe things like toxic masculinity and feminism and misandry and all of the bullshit, y'all want to fall into those things. Well, guess what? This is what comes with that. That's it. Y'all want to believe there's not a such thing as a gender role? This is what come with it. It is a such thing as a gender role. If it wasn't, then women wouldn't complain about the men that are available because the men would be playing their fucking part. The men would be taking care of business. They will be holding it down. They will be strong men. They will be building structure. They will be building civilization, but they're not, and the women don't like it. If there was not such thing as a gender role, the men wouldn't complain and say, yo, the women, they don't do this, they don't do that. So the further that we get away from ancient tradition, the worse we see this shit end off and motherfuckers don't get married or they get divorced. And I hate to be the one to put it like that, but I'm a child of issue. I got to say it like that. There's no other way to say it. If you don't believe me, go read statistics and then go study other places and see what it does. So to overcome this, you know, you yourself have to tap into those ancient practices, those ancient traditions, those ancient ways of going about things. And guess what? It won't be as hard. Miss Laza, marriage is the key to life. Because without marriage, motherfuckers will be procreating on dumb shit. People wouldn't know their dads. People can just abandon their kids. Procreation is what keeps civilization moving. Procreation is at the root of all of these ancient traditions. Procreation is the reason for a lot of them, even what they are right now. Because the reason for it is to even teach men how to be men and to teach women how to be women. That's why you got Oshun. That's why you got Shango. That's why you got Ogun. That's why you got Yemoja. That's why you got Sekhmet. That's why you got Heru. That's why you got all of these things. You know what I'm saying? Marriage is originally supposed to be on a spiritual level, but it's not, because we in the West and they watered it down. So what I'm telling you is that if you want relationships to work, you the one who's going to take it to the spiritual level, because you the one who's going to be using these tools to find the right partners from the jump, so that you don't have to worry about the bullshit moving forward. That's what I'm saying. Ashe. So what we talking about is deep. You know what I'm saying? These ancient traditions, they have gone lost, and people are devaluing the morality that comes with nature. People are devaluing all of those things, and what it's doing is crumbling the society right before your face. But everybody in the society is not lost. Everybody in the society is not crumbling in that same manner. Okay, there are people that are holding up strong, and what the spiritual aspect helps to do is pinpoint those type of people for you, so that what you can have a compatible partner, so that what even if the relationship is a challenging one, because it's there to teach you things, you can get through it with that person. Why? Because that union was divine, because that union was ordained before the divine, before the source. And guess what? It will work. Ashe, it will work. Even if it seemed like it wouldn't. Why? Because you took it before the divine. That's literally it. You know what I'm saying? And these are just little things that, you know, you pick up along the way when you just observe. You know, it's just crazy. You know, people are devaluing out of a lot of things. You know, the disconnect from society leads them, the disconnect from the divine leads them to have preconceived notions of each other. You know, it leads them to have bitterness in their heart because they're expecting this. Nature, their instinct is telling them one thing, but society is telling them another. They're conflicted, right? Like, we see this every day. Look at men. The men, they're saying that they want women that are traditional, but what they going to do, they're going to go for the most untraditional looking woman that they can find her right off of OnlyFans. They don't care, right? So they're conflicted because nature is telling them to find a wife and society is telling them to find a BBL. Not that there's nothing wrong with BBL, but come on, like certain patterns follow certain things. You know what I'm saying? The women, they saying that they want strong men. You want men that provide and protect, but guess what? Those men that provide and protect, they come with structure and they come with rules that they expect to be in their household. If you can't get along with that, they're not going to want you. So nature is telling you one thing and society is telling you another thing. You conflicted. This is why we always got to lean on nature. This is why we always got to lean on the divine. What is the lion doing? What is the tiger doing? What is it that the nature is doing? No, it's a mixture, but men have to. Miss Lazar said, are women the ones that have to fix this mess? No, the men are the ones who have to take initiative. That's why men are like arrows. They're penetrators. Men penetrate your body. They penetrate minds. They penetrate things. That's the nature of man. Aries, Mars, the penetrator, right? If the men don't take initiative and put structures there, guess what? A lot of things is going to be hard because now the women have to be men and take their job, and the men are going to resist it and fight them and try to repress them and try to put them down and try to lock them down. This is what happens. That's why I said in the beginning, this message is very important to the men because y'all the ones that's building the structures. And then when you don't, you complaining about it because the women have to take charge. And then you don't like that because now you say, oh, she emasculating me. But when did you grab your nuts and be masculine? I don't know. Like, What are we not getting? The key to everything is nature. That's it. That's the post. You feel me? The key to everything is nature. That's all. That's it. That's the post. And the quicker when society realizes that, the citizens, the easier it gets. You know? Ms. Laza, the women can't fix the problem with the men. They just can't. Because guess what? This is another thing that comes with men. Men are bloodthirsty. Men are power hungry. Men will take power and abuse it. So the men have to come into certain realizations. They do. They have to come into certain realizations and come to the table with reason. And then the women can come to the table with reason, and then they can fix it together. But until these things happen, guess what? What's going to happen is men are going to keep trying to oppress women. Men are going to keep just patriarchal in a negative way, and it's not going to get fixed. You know what I'm saying? It's just not going to get fixed. And when the women try to voice how they feel and what they expect or what they need, the men are going to do the dumb shit that they did to lead to the feminist movement in the first place. If men just did the right thing, it wouldn't have been a feminist movement. Women just react to the stupid shit that men do. This is everywhere in nature. You're going to find it. It's no different with people. So men have to take initiative to do the right thing, to be strong men, to want to build family again, and to be, leaders. Like, they have to be leaders again. Men are not leaders in a mass number today. They just don't lead well. And so women don't trust them. Women don't trust men to lead their family because for all the women know, the men going to drive that shit in the ground. So they don't trust it. So a lot of this going to fall on the backs of men to be coming to the table with reason and listen to what the women are saying and take that criticism and then do something about it. Because when they do something about it, guess what's going to happen? The women are going to reciprocate. And then it'll be cool. It'll be all good. But see, when the divine feminine is not happy, this is when you get the Sekhmet. You get the destructive Kalima coming out. You don't want it to be Kalima, though. You know what I'm saying? You don't want Oya to come out. You want it to be Oshun. You want it to be Yemoja. But you're not giving her that. You're not giving her that energy. So here come Oya to tear that shit down. Here comes Sekhmet to tear that shit down. You know what I'm saying? And this is what it is. Ms. Laza, listen, if men did the right thing and was in the house to raise those little men, it wouldn't be problems. It always fall back. That's why I don't put nothing on single moms. Because how did they become a single mom? That's what it is. K-Shep, that's a loaded thing. So traditionally, the men took the charge as spiritual leaders in their house. If something was wrong with the family, they would be the ones to go to the priest and say, something is wrong with my family, or can you help me fix that? You know what I'm saying? Women nurtured the family. Women facilitated the culture in the family. Women were the ones who, yes, in Africa, Queen. Yes, in Africa. Women were the ones who dictated a lot of the culture. Women were the ones who nourished the society. Women were the ones who did a lot of those things. But when it came to the priesthoods and things like that, typically the men either were heads of those things or there was a balancing system, which you see with, like, in Liberia. You have the Poro Society and then you had the Sandy. So with the Sandy, that's a group of women that are priests. The Poro are a group of men that are priests. So every few years, they change places on who upholds the rules of that society and who is kind of dictating the politics. So the Sandy will have years where they do it. And then the Poro will have years where they do it. And they'll go back and forth. So you've seen a balancing act. You even see it in Yoruba tradition. So in Yoruba tradition, what you will find is you have the cult of Oshun, the cult of Yemoja, but then you have the cult of Shango, the cult of Ogun, right? And these different cults of for the spirits would take their turns in various parts of the society, governing different parts of the societies. So that concept of, oh, is the woman this, woman that, that's like Western shit that's getting applied where it don't need. Y'all need to throw that out. That doesn't apply to none of that. And this is just from me who's in the tradition. I was raised in tradition my whole life. And I'm just telling you what that is. So there was a balancing act. But when it came to the individual family, the man had the responsibility of noticing if the family is spiritually sick, who to go to and talk to fix that. So he will go do business with the Babalawo or the Ayanifa to get it done. He had to take charge. That's just how it is. If you don't believe me, go talk to a Yoruba. Go talk to an Igbo. Go talk to whoever you want to talk to. Ashe, I'm with Babas every day. Killing goats and shit to whoever spirit we dealing with. Deep in the game. So yeah, when men take their responsibility, they take their part of the bargain, things will get fixed. Things will get fixed. But until that happens, guess what? It is what it is. But, you know, I just come to give you these little consejos so y'all can run with them. Be wise in picking. You know, women come to me all the time to look into partners and things like that. So they come all the time for things like that. I get men that do as well, but not as many, which is sad because they're the ones who's supposed to be the leaders. Why they not doing it, I don't know. Then they complain. So they can complain, go complain what you want to do. But that is what it is, you know. Miss Liza said, only want a spiritual man from now on. Well, you might not need a spiritual man though, Queen. That's real. Like everybody don't need a spiritual man or woman. Like there's a lot that come with that. You know what I'm saying? The man of your dreams might not be into spirituality so deeply, but maybe he may be wise. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he may be wise in the ways of the world, and that counts. You know what I'm saying? Because that is a form of spiritual leadership. You know, that's what it is. But that's kind of like where we at with it. You know, we in the West. You got to make do. You got to use the things at your disposal to find what you need in the world. You know what I'm saying? You have to make do at your disposal to find what you need in the world. And from a spiritual perspective, understanding the roles that men and women played in their various societies. You know, even when you study places like Egypt, they had similar setups. You have the cult of Heru, the cult of Sekhmet, the cult of Isis, right? And these societies all played a part in governing the society together, the overall community, the society together, right? These individual communities will help to govern the overall society. So everywhere you go, you see a similar thing, you know, especially in Africa. You see that where it all started. It's very common. And this, you even seen it come into the Caribbean, right? Where you had leaders that helped to lead revolutions here that were men. Then you had women that played their parts. You know what I'm saying? And they kind of balanced out the societies. You know, you had like Dirty Bookman who helped to lead off the Haitian Revolution. Then you have people like Queen Nanny who helped to further the war in Jamaica against the British, right? So it's when we get into this balancing act of men and women with spirituality, this is a common theme, you know. This is a common theme. But yeah, brothers and sisters, please lean on Oracle somehow, some way. Lean on divination somehow, some way as you're picking your partners and things of that nature. And you will be fine. And you will be fine. You will find your way through the maze and find the ones you need. If you are not one that's into that, you know, my services are always available. You know, you can hit my YouTube link in my bio on TikTok. My information is there. You can book readings and things like that. If you got questions about a new relationship, we can ask. So it's a lot of things, man. But it's a lot of us out here. But y'all just gotta be in tune and see the value. See the value in traditional indigenous practices. And see the value of what the ancients did and how it helped them. You know. And then you will see what I'm talking about. You will see it to be true. Ashe. So with that being said, family, I'll catch y'all on the next one. Stay in tune with me. And I'll get with y'all. Or dabble.